Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. This is Pro Wrestling Logic, and it is the May 6th edition of the AEW Rampage show review. Tony Storm and Ruby Soho defeating Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter with Rebel 8 minutes 39 seconds. Jericho's into the music, and then Hayter starts out with Storm. Crowd chants against Pittsburgh to get under the skin of Britt Baker, the former women's champion. Tags are made to both ladies. Baker takes over with a couple of several strikes and some forearms, and then hits a sling blade. Soho counters Air Raid crash into a sunset flip for a near fall. Soho then hits a double team leg sweep with her partner on Britt Baker, the former champion, who I still think Britt Baker being the women's champion would be a good idea, but the Thunder Rosa story was well told. Baker then comes back, sending Storm into the turnbuckle. After split screen, Hayter dominates and nails her opponent with forearms. Storm comes back with a German suplex after an assist by Soho. Tags go on back. Soho then comes back and kicks and knee strikes. Storm makes a blind tag and catches Baker with a hip attack in the corner, but Hayter then cuts her off. Baker then goes with the Pittsburgh Sunrise, but Soho made the save. Storm then slams Baker into Hayter, but Baker then counters a Storm Zero attempt into an air raid crash. Baker then goes for the lockjaw. Storm rolls her up into a pinfall attempt and then hits a German suplex. Storm then sends Baker for the superplex. Rebel distracts her for a minute, and then Soho manages to break up the pin attempt. Baker super kicked Soho out of the ring, and then Storm rolls up Baker for the upset pinfall. Not a fan of this, but it is what it is. Then we go to Eddie Kingston has called Chris Jericho, promising to hurt him really bad because his wife, who he's been in a relationship with for 20 years, is upset about what's happened there. Mark Sterling and Tony Nese cut a backstage promo. Sterling requested Nese's match against the hottest free agent in AEW, promising to give him first loss in AEW to the undefeated Danhausen. What a waste of Danhausen to put him in there with a complete milquetoast guy like Nese. But anyway, Hook defeats JD Drake 1 minute 27 seconds. They have completely also botched JD Drake, who, if you watch Southern Indies, has been great for a while, but doesn't come off well here. Drake hits a chop and Hook asks for another. Drake then goes to liver. Hook headbutts Drake's arm and suplexes him. Hook stops to play to the crowd a little bit. Drake then goes for a reverse DDT. Hook flips through the attempt and locks on the red run quickly. Drake taps out after the match. Danhausen comes out to have a conference with Hook. Crowd chants for Hookhausen. Danhausen asks Hooks to be in his corner for his match with Tony Nese next week. Hook shoved Danhausen down. Danhausen left chips for Hook. Hook is still not interested and left chips behind. Anyway, so Lexi Nair interviews FDR. Crowd is cheering for FDR. Dax Harwood is going to bring the Nasty back in the match against Adam Cole on Dynamite next week. Riho defeats Yuka Sakazaki. 8:18 airs. This is the first match back since injury for Riho. Suffered against Britt Baker at Battle of the Belts in January. Riho is in all black tonight. Riho is a complete waste of space as a talent, honestly. It's cool if you like that Japanese 80-pound spot for the sake of spots style. If you actually like wrestling to look like it's, I don't know, competitive or in the least bit painful, Riho's not going to do it for you. Anyway, Riho hits a shotgun dropkick and a running knee in the corner. Riho gets a near fall after the crossbody. From the top, crowd is behind her. Sakazaki catches Riho with a boot. Back from the break, Sakazaki gets a near fall after a Northern Lights bomb. Then goes for the Magical Girl Splash, but Riho gets the knees up. Riho hits the Release Dragon Suplex. Riho then hits a charging knee, but Sakazaki counters with Sunset Flip attempt. Riho hits a sliding knee for a very close near fall. Crowd chants that was 3. I don't know why the crowd would care. Anyway, Riho then goes to the top, but Sakazaki springs up and plants Riho down on the mat with a top rope flatliner for near fall. Sakazaki then goes for the helicopter slam. Riho slides out and goes after both. Both women exchange forearms. I hit you, you hit me. Goofiness, and then Riho ducks and rolls Sakazaki up for the win. Match is fine if you like non-psychology goofiness. Anyway, Shawn Spears cuts a promo on Wardlow, promising to be the kryptonite to Wardlow's Superman. Owen Hart Women's Tournament brackets. Toni Storm defeats or against Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker against the Joker, Riho against Ruby Soho, and Red Velvet against Hikaru Shida. Anyway, Dan Lambert and Man of the Year are out for a promo. Even though Lambert is from Baltimore, he cuts a promo on the city. He basically says the people have destroyed the city, calls for a mixed tag match with Ty Conti and Sammy Guevara, which makes sense since everyone is a heel. Frankie Kazarian comes out and asks for a TNT title match against Scorpio Sky, who responds with a babyface promo. He tells Dan Lambert to take the extra TNT Championship belt and put it in a trophy case. America Top Team, Scorpio promises that he would do things differently this time and agreed to defend the TNT Championship against Kazarian next week. Anyway, Excalibur starts to run down the card for Dynamite when Jungle Boy runs in and lays out Ricky Starks. Starks runs off with Jungle Boy's hold up the FTW title. Starks leaves that behind. Dynamite on Wednesday. Jungle Boy, Ricky Starks for the FTW title. Punk versus John Silver. Jericho Appreciation Society victory speaks. Toni Storm for Jamie Hayter first round of the Owen Hart Cup. Hardy versus Allen in first round of the Men's Cup. And Dax Harwood, Adam Cole first round of the Owen Hart Cup again. Rampage next Friday. Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian TNT title. Riho versus Ruby Soho first round of the Women's Cup. Jay Lethal with Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt defeats Kazukushi Takahashi, another one of these just goofy Japanese, because Tony Khan loves them and he wants Dave Meltzer to buy him ices at the local Walmart. Anyway, so chops from the International Star, and then who I guess had won some matches on Dark. He begins to Fargo Strut, hits Lethal with a shoulder tackle, sending him to the floor, and then making me go grab my phone. We'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail with more right after this. Lethal takes control of the match back pretty simply for his own benefit. I mean, it's not anything that anybody really needs to care about in so much as, I mean, these foreign matches, which I think are fine from a technical standpoint, but the international talents are not promoted properly, and there's too many talents that are already contracted where it's really not necessarily worth it. I understand the New Japan pay-per-view they've got coming up and all that, but it's just still goofy. Anyway, so Lethal takes over again as they go to split screen break. Back from the break, both men are fighting on the top rope, because why not? The International Star hits a lariat, sending both men to the canvas. Lethal escapes full Nelson and drops down, catches his adversary with a figure 4. The escape from the figure 4, and then there's a drop brainbuster. And then, it ultimately comes out, and then Takeshita avoids lethal injection attempt and nails Lethal with another lariat, hits a flying knee, then goes for the cover. Dutt distracts the referee before he could make the count. Referee finally does make the count. Lethal kicks out for a near fall. Lethal then catches Takeshita with the roll for 2 count, but He kicks out. Lethal springs into the ropes and catches him with lethal injection, getting the pinfall after the match. Singh and Dutt hit the ring to beat up his opponent. Best friends run down, try to make the save. Doesn't work out. Singh grabs Taylor by the throat and bounces his head off the mat. And then Orange Cassidy gets on the apron and distracts Singh. Samoa Joe comes out with a pipe, but everybody runs off. And that's that. We'll be back with more right after this.